Welcome to another episode of Humans with a Purpose. Today I have a very special guest. He comes all the way from Pakistan. His name is Yousuf Bashir Qureshi. He is an artist, he is a musician, he is a poet, he is a writer, he wears many different hats. And today we're going to talk about how he found his purpose. Thank you so much, Yousuf, for joining my show and for sharing your wisdom with us.
Assalamu alaikum, Alia. No, thank you. It's an honor to be around with people who want to unite people. And that is the purpose.
Especially now. Especially now.
Always.
Yes.
These are only ways to connect us. When we forget, ways like this come to connect us.
That's very true. So Yousuf, I'm sure you have been thinking a lot about your purpose. I know you think about your purpose all the time. So how do you define purpose? What does purpose mean to you?
You know what in the years of life that I've lived, I found out that, the purpose is one, is to find out about all your strengths that have been given to you, and then you develop those strengths into skill sets uh, in order to benefit people. And that's the purpose. You benefit people, and then only people will benefit you. And everything around benefits you. But you need to benefit them. So when we think about benefit, we think about how much cash. We think about monetary things, but benefit is not monetary. Benefit comes in many ways. Uh, we're always looking for everyone. Even your mother will always tell you, you may always be happy. So I asked my mother, like, is this a blessing or a curse? One can not always be happy, and if you're always happy, then it's pretty sad that you're always happy, that you don't have anything to worry about. So happiness is a season. It comes and it goes away. Sadness is another season, comes and goes away. Same way is, your fear, and same way, is your courage. These are emotions that we live by. And the problem is, when happiness comes on to us, we become so scared that it might go away, so we start protecting it. So our energy that was supposed to be in happy terms became worried terms, or it was sad. When sadness came on to us, we wiped our tears. We say, oh no, men don't cry. Well, real men do cry. Humans cry.
Yes.
So we did not cry, and we started finding happiness in material things. So we wanted to distract ourselves. And then when fear came on to us, we grew big mustache, like, oh, I'm fearless. Look at me. How can I be afraid? So we're not afraid when we did bad things, and we did not fear that it is karma that's going to come back to us. And then when we were supposed to be courageous, we just chickened out. In all these four emotions, there's one thing in common, which is peace, sukoon. In happiness, there's peace. In sadness, there's peace. In your tears, there's peace. In your fears, there's peace. And in your courage, there's peace. And peace is something that we require. So I tell people, when happiness comes on to you, just forget about how long it's going to stay, because I've never seen tomorrow. Everyone asks me, how is tomorrow? What do you have plans for tomorrow? I said, I've never seen a tomorrow. I've only seen a now. So yesterday passed away, and all I see is the now.
Right.
So when happiness comes to you, just be happy like a child. And when sadness comes on to you, cry, weep. This water needs to drain.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it will restrain. And water finds its own ways. It will flow. So water from the eyes is supposed to flow. If you keep it in, It'll come out from somewhere else and it's not going to be
Wow.
as pleasant.
Wow.
So, or I tell, I'm not a doctor, but I tell people, people who don't cry and people who don't sweat, I think that's how cancer comes because this water has to come out from somewhere. So it stays
So
in and
true.
becomes ulcers or becomes these tumors or something that has this water that was not ejected. So this was the rejected water and it becomes disease. I don't know. I don't have any scientific proof. So tomorrow, people do not want to like me. This is not true. This is my own theory.
Right.
And third, when you're supposed to be afraid, when you've done something wrong, live up to it, be shameful of it, go face it, correct yourself, do not run away from it.
Be honest.
Do not say, be
Be honest
honest to
with
yourself.
yourself.
And when you need to be courageous,
Yes.
understand that the day that you will go, nobody can stop. And whatever is destined for you, nobody can take. So enjoy.
Yes. You have a very spiritual intuition. You're very connected to your Rab, to your Lord. And a lot of what you've been saying is I highly respect Wasif Ali Wasif. He's a writer of Pakistan and he's a mystic, and he always talked about being razi, being satisfied. And whether it's happiness, sadness, you always want to be satisfied because that's your gratitude to your Lord. So it sounds like your purpose is very much in line with following your heart, which your heart is something that's been bestowed on you by God. And how did you get this wisdom? It takes people their whole life to know themselves. And from what I've seen from you, like you are not, you're still in your midlife. How did you get that wisdom? How did you figure out your own purpose?
You have to be broken a lot of times. And when you break, and then when you join, it strengthens the old wounds. And when you said, I'm spiritual because of, yes, I'm made out of spirit and I'm made out of God's breath. Az kujo mein aaye di awaaz dur. So everyone is. We are all connected. These are distractions that disconnect us.
Hmm.
And I'm still in the process. And you know what? Vasavali Vasav and others before him and people now and people afterwards also, they are just amazing people. And these are people who live in Shukr.
Yes.
If you're in Shukr, people think you're following something very good. No, you're leading to something that is very peaceful when you live in Shukr. You start leading, you stop following. And for me, every day, every breath is a new experience. So for me, every day is a new learning. And I've not, honestly, I've not, as a child also, I was not inclined towards reading books. So I've not read that much. I'm not that well read, but I'm well lived because every moment of my life,
And you've read yourself.
I'm reading myself constantly. And
Hmm.
that's what's, keeping me on my toes all the time. And a lot of times people, say, oh my God, you do this, you do this, you do this, you're a farmer, you're an artist, you know, you're a speaker, you're all this. And I say, there's only one thing that I do. And it is trying to know myself. But then, a lot of times, people say, okay, master, jack of all, master of none. So, that phrase really irritated me because it hurt my ego also. And I was like, what is this thing? So I came up with an answer for that. So I said, master is one, and if he's created me king, I'm not going to settle for a jack. So
Hmm.
whatever I do, I'm going to do to the extreme.
Do it with
I need to
excellence.
enjoy and
Yes.
I need to learn, and from my learning and my enjoyment, people need to benefit.
Has there been
That's
an
our karma.
has there been anyone who has had a major influence on your life? And you mentioned that when you've been in situations where you were broken, and maybe you can talk about one situation where you found yourself in a broken state and how you were able to pull yourself out, or with the help of someone else. Because I know you are a mentor to many. I'm sure you've had someone who's been your guide in your life.
There've been plenty of people, from my birth till now. There've been such amazing people that have come into my life, amazing women who've come into my life, amazing men who've come into my life. And people say, they change. People change. They did not change me. They connected. They connected with myself. And one of the most beautiful souls that that I was lucky to be with was my grandfather, my dada. He was this beautiful man, and he loved me without understanding. He loved me without judging. He loved me without condition, and he did not understand what I did. I became a fashion designer. This son and a grandson of a landlord becoming a fashion designer back in the 90s, early 90s, was not very acceptable. This artist stuff is, it was very,
Yes.
it was very gay. It was very out of fashion when homophobia was on the rise. So for a man like him not to understand what I did and still accept me and love me with all what he had was just remarkable. And I share this story with I think every time I sit and I'm asked this question, which is quite often, that I learned from his death more than I learned from his life
Hmm.
and the time that he was going away. I felt that I was a fearless man. I'd overcome a lot of my fears in life. And when we say that we've overcome our fears, we've actually begun to understand our fears.
Hmm.
So, yes, but I did overcome a lot of them. But one of my biggest fears at that time was that I hope something doesn't happen to my grandfather. I'd be so worried all the time. You know, he'd be somewhere and I'd be like, I hope he's okay. I'd go out of the country and I'd be like, I want to come back. I don't know. I hope something happens. I hope, God forbid, something would happen. And then when the time came of him leaving, right next to me, something magical happened. When he was taking his last breath, I'm a claustrophobic person. I became claustrophobic. I thought I was going to suffocate. But his last breath, he gave it to me,
Hmm.
and he died, and I lived. And that last breath took my fears away. Also. His last breath took my fears away. Then I never had a fear that was going to happen to him. And now that I talk about him, before he was at home, he was at a friend's place, he was at the farm. Now there's no moment that he leaves me. If I'm talking about him now, I weep for him. And if I think about it a little harder, if I feel a little harder, I
Hmm.
could smell him also. So he took my fears away. And I realized, how do you love unconditionally? So yes, things like this, many of things like this have happened
Hmm.
in everyone's life. It is up to us how we take this experience. You take it with will, you know, it will take all the ill away. And yes, you do wrong. It's okay. We've been made so afraid, you know, and everything that they made us fear, even as a child, was a lie. It's not the truth. Either it was the darkness, either it was the black man or the boogeyman, whatever it was, Halloween costumes, the devil. They don't have to prove anything. May it be anything. May it be hellfire, may it be anything. It was all, false. And then ultimately, they made us afraid of God. Something that you're afraid of, you think you'll go near it and you go away from it. You go away from
Yes.
it. And then when we figured out that God was inside of us, we were away from ourselves. We're not we're not supposed to fear, things that are not to be feared, that are to be loved. We're supposed to fear our actions that will cause harm, to people. And that's it. Just be aware of yourself. You will make mistakes. Make those mistakes that do not harm people. Make those mistakes that you're able to handle. Make mistakes in awareness. Do not be unaware and make mistakes. Making mistakes in awareness is experiment. Without awareness is an accident. We're not here for accidents. You think, my purpose is larger than life.
You were talking about purpose. Now, has your purpose changed over time? Especially now with this pandemic, this great pause in humanity. What has this situation taught you?
The purpose does not change. Purpose again remains the same. Purpose is to understand yourself and benefit people. That is the
Mm.
purpose. How you do it changes all the time.
Mm,
Sometimes I'm a farmer, sometimes I'm a painter, sometimes I'm a fashion designer, sometimes I'm a father, sometimes I'm a friend. You know, so it's a you're like we're all actors. We've been given different roles to perform, but we're part of the same movie,
that's true. That's true. Wow.
and it has to have a happy ending.
Yes. How you mentor a lot of young people and they always come to you seeking advice or asking you about their career or whether it's anything that they want to do. Like what message would you like to give the younger generation?
This younger generation, they don't come to me. I go to them.
Hmm.
This younger generation inspires me. I see my son, his generation, and I see other kids who are younger than me. Um, one thing that I see in them, which I did not see in myself as a young child, they're so honest.
Hmm.
They're so brutally honest that sometimes it's painful. And we can even, our ego will not even accept them. They have no ego and they're only honest. So if we invest in our children, they can make us and this place, this beautiful heaven, which is a mother we call her. So we need to start trusting them a little bit more than trusting our ways, how we've lived our lives, because they will unite us. We just need to unite with them. So these kids, the only problem is they don't have direction. They have all the information, they have access to all drugs and intoxicants. People experiment, these kids experiment. I'm not against experimentation. At this stage, you experiment. But I've always said one thing, nasha wo bura, jo dawa ban jaye.
Hmm.
When it becomes medicine, when your addiction becomes your medicine,
Yes.
then it becomes poison. And then it becomes like corona.
Right.
So we need to, these kids, they're honest, but they need to understand that what to do with their honesty. Right now, they don't know what to do with their honesty. They're
Hmm.
just honest. They say you believe in God. I don't see him, but
Hmm.
they're honest about it. But what are they doing about it? Nothing.
They don't know how to take
You
action.
know, exactly. Because we have not given them the direction. So, guys, you who are out there, you have more information than us. You need to guide us. Stop depending on us, because actually we are depending on you. You're the ones who will direct us. Uh, we should be the one who to motivate you and to direct you. But unfortunately, we lost a lot of time, and we lost time. I was born in 1971. I was a war baby, and since my birth till now, there's war going on in the world, and it's not affecting me. There's war going on next door, and it is not affecting me. That is the biggest problem. Now, Corona it started affecting me, na? So it became an inconvenience. So I'm taking precautions, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. This thing has been around me since I was born. This war, this killing, in the name of God, in the name of color, in the name of language, in the name of culture. You're all God's children. The one bleeds, we all bleed. Even when the bad bleeds, he still bleeds.
Hmm.
So, these kids need to help us stop this bleeding and understand where we're coming from, because, we're coming from a very difficult point also, that we had to be afraid all our lives, that we had to live in fear. When you blame us, you have all the right to blame us. But understand our situation. Have mercy on us, man. You know, everyone that, like our kids have been victimized, we have been victimized. Now it's enough playing victim now. Now it's about time we play not even soldier. We play friend, and no victimization and thinking of ourselves as victims also anymore. And, it's okay. You have everything now. Now, though, nobody can even complain that I don't have a voice. Everyone has a voice who has a cell phone and an
Yes.
internet connection has a voice. Look at what one, 9-minute video of, this guy did, and it changed the world.
Yes.
Look at how people united. Yes, they're uniting through violence. It's not a good thing. But understand one thing, that at least uniting, there's some shake-up.
True.
Someone's worried. Corona, yes, it's a bad thing. People are dying. But look what's done. Woken us up. But now let's not wait for another catastrophe to unite us. No? Let's not have another man killed, by
Yes.
police brutality, or another country invaded in the name of security, in the name of God, in the name of religion, in the name of color and flag. Let's not humanity die. Let's not have any hunger in Africa or Bangladesh or any other place that we see famine strike. There should be end of racism. We need to put a stop to all people, who put people on a pedestal in the name of religion and race. This needs to go away, like right away. Like we need to fight it like we're fighting Corona. And now, not even fight. We're not fighting Corona. No? We're taking precautionary
That's
measures.
true.
Racism is exactly like that. You can't fight it. You need to take precautionary measures. We need to train our children to be humans, because racism is inhuman.
Yes.
When you think of the other as lesser than you should be questioning yourself, that the God who made you actually made lesser stuff also. I do not believe in a God that made lesser beings. So if you want to believe in a God that made lesser beings, not a very strong God, not very confident about himself. So whatever he's he's created great. It is up to us to live up to that greatness. It is entirely up to us.
The choice is ours.
It is our choice. You know. You can give justifications and excuses for everything. For everything. I can give you a justification for murder and rape. So do not stop giving ourselves these justifications. Stop fearing ourselves with something that's not to be feared. But at the same time, we cannot be stupid anymore. We live in this world that we need to utilize technology and not let technologies utilize us. You know, these computers need to help us so that we can do, a day's job in minutes and seconds.
Yes.
I mean, not waste our days on on these things,
Social media.
on these gadgets.
Yes.
It is important. This is the new way of uniting. This is your new book. This is your new medium. But it doesn't mean that there won't be ink and pen. There are other ways also. So keep on resurrecting new ways and keep on restoring, old ways also. Because those were also beautiful. Those ways of people express their love. It's
What do
all
you
about connecting yourself with yourself.
what do you think is missing in the world right now? You talk a lot about love and heart.
I am missing. If I'm not missing, there's nothing to miss, right? Each one of us is missing. If we take up our responsibilities, we would not be missing.
Mm.
We'd be achieving, we'd be seeing, we'd be enjoying, we'd be living. So right now, I am missing. I'm missing myself. I'm missing myself that all the strength that have been given to me, and still have not been able to eradicate poverty out of my country, fear out of my country, with all the powers given to me. So I am missing.
Mm.
The day that I am found, everything's going to be fine. There's not going to be one sole racist in this world. The day I find myself, and that's my search, and that's my life. I cannot waste time, and I still do waste time. A lot of it,
Mm.
most part of it, and
What are
I have
you
justifications for it.
what are you living for at this moment?
I'm living for the next breath to catch. You know, uh, that's the biggest blessing. This is how I should be living. Being aware of every breath that I take in and how it nourishes me, and how it keeps me alive. That's how I should be living. That everything around me, from the birds, you know, I usually see birds here at the farm. I see them sitting on top of a buffalo, on top of its head, sometimes on its nose, and the buffalo does not do anything.
Mm.
And I think I'm much better looking than a buffalo. And when I put my hand out and the bird does not even come, and I put even, you know, grain in it, it still does not come. The bird sees through me that I still am not truthful, and it sees through the
Mm.
buffalo that's truthful. So the day the birds start trusting me is the day I will feel that I've become a better human.
Mm.
So let's see. The day I, put my foot on land and then the soil becomes meetha, that day
Sweet.
I'll
This,
believe that I've done something.
how do
So
you want to be remembered, Yusuf, at the end of your life?
if I do, if I have no plans of dying now. I've, I have a lot of things that I want to do. So, but yes, we all want to, we all live and we all leave. I'd written once, कुछ लोग जाते नहीं रह जाते.
Yes. Some
And
people
there's a lot
don't
of
leave,
people
they stay.
they stay. And if you benefited anyone, you will always stay. If there's only one soul remembering you, that means you're still alive. And if you benefited people, people will remember you, and you'll always be alive. Your body will go through a transition
Yes.
into a different state,
Yes.
but the soul will be there. That energy will be around. Like I was speaking about my grandfather, I'm sure
Yes.
he's listening. I am not able to see him because I'm using only maybe 2% of my brain or 3% of my brain. Just imagine I'm using 80% of my brain. I'll probably see him also.
Yes.
Man has created machines that finds spirits and that can see X-rays and can calculate microwaves. So if the mind has actually invented these things, then my eyes could see them also. I have just not perfected myself to that human level yet.
But it's really going from here to here, right? Which is your heart. And I think,
Actually, it's going from here to here. It is the other way
oh,
around.
right. Yeah.
Because heart beats first, and the brain is
That's
developed
true.
later.
That's true. That's true.
So
Hmm.
we need to take care of our heart. We need to, we become very smart, so we think so much, but we forgot to feel. We need to start feeling again.
Yes.
Every sensations of touch. Every time you hug someone, that I remember, even when you kiss someone, it's like,
Yeah.
it's not,
It's not like a
when you're
real,
holding it,
yeah.
when I want to, my father gets very uncomfortable when I'm holding him like this. And I just want to hug him. He's an older man, and then, he lived in that era also. But he feels very uncomfortable, the man holding him so hard, and the grown man, like, I think I'm your own son, but he's uncomfortable. But, we have, so I'm trying to get broken him down a lot now. So, but, when you hug the ones that you love, feel them, touch their faces,
Yeah.
smell them, you know, feel their existence, their full existence, enjoy them while you have them, while
Wow.
you have your health, while you have your senses. Meet them with every sense, greet them with every sense. When you look at them, have love in your eyes. When you look at them, have love in your heart. When you look at them, have love in your brain. When you look at them, have love in your hands. And when you hug them, have love in your chest. When you're blessed, what else do you need?
Wow, this has been such a beautiful conversation.
Thank you for inspiring me to say these things because all these things that I've said, yes, I've said this multiple times, but these are the, these things have really, really, really touched, you know, of the inner self. These are my feelings that have become, that made me the person that I am today. And thank you for making me remind them in these beautiful times in my life and these sad times in my life and these vulnerable times in my life. When you remember them, they become your guide.
It's true.
And what you need to extract from them is shukr
They
and
say that
guidance.
your enemy is also your Buddha.
Of course, my enemy teaches me how strong I am
Yes. Yes. Very true.
and where I need to work on my weaknesses.
Right.
Because God has not made anyone or the creator. As an artist, you tell me to make something, make a painting that's not of my standard and proudly sign my name on it. No, I won't do it.
Hmm.
For any amount of money, I won't do it. Well, a lot of people will question how is any amount of money.
Right.
But generally, I would not do it. But God, you think He has created something or someone lesser than His standards? I don't think so. I don't want to believe that. I don't believe that because the God who made me is the most benevolent. So He cannot create anyone lesser. It is up to me to find it. So people say, okay, so that means you have no weakness. It's like, no, He did not make you. Like, but you have this weakness. I was like, no, my weaknesses are my strengths that I have not paid attention to.
Hmm.
Like my health is my strength now.
Yes.
I do not eat right. I do not exercise. So my strength becomes my weakness. Same way, my business is my strength. I don't pay attention to it. It becomes my weakness. Same way as my relations with my loved ones. I do not keep up with them, and it becomes my weakness. So He's made me with no weakness. He's made me only with strength. It's up to me how powerful I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's my choice.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for helping us be us. And I really
Thank
believe
you.
that
Unite
you're
the people.
serving your
Unite the
purpose.
world.
Unite the world. Yes. Yes.
Unite the world. Unite the world. Thank you for this opportunity. Keep me connected with the people who listen to you, and connect me with those that I'm not connected to. And like always say, pyar, phool, or duas. Pyar is love, and you are love. So phool is flowers. So flowers is your scent. These are the people that surround you, that are around you, things that affect you. And duas, so it's combined blessings of both. So pyar, phool, duas.
Wow.
And behave and be brave.
Wow. Thank you.